Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Josh Thomas here from the BitBlock, and once again, I am joined by... who again? Who am I joined by?
What? Are you serious?
Oh, right, Roger. Roger, you're here too?
That joke completely fell flat, Josh. That's probably the worst intro you've ever done for one of these discussions.
That's my goal, to just make the intros worse and worse.
We should absolutely start that again, because I didn't know where you were going with that, and now I'm just like...
I was looking at my...
Oh my God.
I'm looking at my elbow. I hit my elbow.
Why are you looking at your elbow? What?
And it confused me.
All right, why am I here? Why am I here for this discussion? Let's tell them why I'm here.
Roger, you are here because we are going to be talking about the possible fall Nintendo Direct that might be happening.
So, okay, first off, where is this news coming from, this rumor that we're getting a Nintendo Direct in the fall? Like, did this come from something?
Oh,
like, have people been talking about it?
This is me assuming. Like, this is just me saying we've had one traditionally every fall. Like, every autumn in, like, late September, early October, we get a Nintendo Direct, and it's filled with... It's usually one of the better Nintendo Directs.
Yeah,
so I want to potentially talk about that, if you don't mind. If not, we can just end this right now.
No. Let's talk about it. I think it's most important to note first, though, is I don't think we're actually going to get one.
Oh, wow. What?
Yeah.
Jeez. Wet blanket much?
I actually don't think we're going to get one until we get the announcement of who is taking over for Iwata. Because the Nintendo Directs were so tied to Iwata before, and at the beginning, when I first said, okay, the Nintendo Directs will continue without him, and a bunch of people were responding to me saying, no, they won't do them until, until they find a nice way to respect Iwata. Well, it's been a long time. I mean, it's been a couple months since his passing. So I think the time would be now, and I feel like the Pokemon Go announcement that was made the other day, the announcement of the new Pokemon stuff that's going to be released in the new Koro in a couple of days. We've got like release dates for games that have already been announced. We had that discussion about the winter schedule so far. I don't really see any reason for them to even do a Nintendo Direct for the rest of this year at this point. I think they'll hold off until January, announce the successor to Iwata, and just go from there.
All right, well, Roger, do you want to tell everybody where they can follow you?
No. But let's go ahead and say, okay, they're going to do one. And let's talk about what do you think it's going to be in. Okay.
I don't really... how can I put this without sounding disrespectful? I don't think Mr. Iwata going forward is really required for Nintendo Directs, because the last few Nintendo Directs before his passing, he really wasn't even in. It was really more focused on like Bill Trinen and Reggie and other people from the Treehouse, and Nintendo of Europe had their own people. I forget his name, Mr. Shibata.
Yep.
He would do it. So it really felt like they were already kind of replacing Mr. Iwata before he had even passed away. So I really feel like they can do a Nintendo Direct without Mr. Iwata.
Yeah, I think they could. I just don't think it's gonna happen.
Well, there was recently a job opening at Nintendo for somebody who would be working with editing video and graphic design.
I saw that, yeah. So I saw that actually. That was posted on Go Nintendo about someone who would be working on Nintendo Directs, but that was Nintendo of America. I don't think that was Nintendo of Japan. And the majority of these Nintendo Direct things come out of Japan. You know, they normally don't do one in North America unless Japan's gonna do one. Japan has had exclusive ones when America hasn't had them, though, so who knows?
So let's just say that Nintendo's going to keep things up, and they are going to do the traditional autumn, fall Nintendo Direct.
Sure.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the things we would like to see, some of the things we would expect to see. Traditionally, the fall Direct is usually, hey, here's a look at all the finished versions of the things that we showed you at E3. So what is some of the stuff at E3 that you're really looking forward to seeing again in a more finished version?
I want to see a more finished product of Star Fox Zero. I mean, I tweeted about this last night. Everybody else was playing Mario Maker, downloading it at midnight, and I was just like, you know what? I feel like playing Star Fox 64.
I saw that.
Yeah, so I booted up Virtual Console for no reason, and I just played through Star Fox 64, and I forgot what a masterpiece that game is. That game is seriously in my top 5 favorite games of all time, and I was already excited for Zero, and I think I was a little more positive after E3 about it than you were.
A lot more.
Yeah, but I still feel like that was mostly because like it wasn't polished. And I think if we see a final version, we get the confirmation that you don't have to use motion control for some aspects. I think we'll be good to go. I really want to see what the amiibo functionality is too, because the amiibo sticker was on the box art, and Mr. Miyamoto has said that there's going to be amiibo support. So I don't know what's going on. I know one thing in relation to this, and I'm sure they probably would have announced this already, that I know it's in Mario Maker, is there's the Mario Maker costume where you can get the R-Wing Walker. Have you seen this? You can get like the R-Wing Walker in Mario Maker. And something's telling me that I think there might be like an exclusive Star Fox Zero Arwing Walker amiibo with like a pack-in with Star Fox Zero that we just haven't had announced yet.
That is a possibility, but it's also worth pointing out that there's about 50 costumes in Super Mario Maker that don't have amiibo applied to them.
No, that's true. But the Walker specifically stood out to me as something that was like, I'm surprised that this is in the game. And I think that would actually make for a cool amiibo. And there was recently that posting of a new amiibo that's going to start development in August. Did you see this? This was recently posted on Go Nintendo as well. So apparently there is another amiibo that's currently in development that's currently, like, not development, but what's the word? Like, it's going into print right now. Yeah. And a lot of people, myself included, believe that that's going to be either Roy or Ryu. From Smash Brothers, but it could potentially be the Arwing Walker, and that would line up with the release date for Star Fox Zero. So I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to see more of Star Fox Zero because I really wasn't impressed with it at E3. When we first saw it in the Direct, I really wasn't blown away by how it looked visually. And then when we played it, I wasn't impressed with the way it controlled. And even if it controlled good, it was still just kind of like, yeah, this is Star Fox. You know, it wasn't really much new to look at or do. Like that Corneria mission, like there was really not much imagination in that. It was just Corneria, you know?
I mean, I liked battling the boss two different ways. I thought that was a cool take on it.
Yeah, like having alternate pathways, that's cool. I mean, Star Fox has done that in the past, though,
yeah.
Where they have, you know... So I really want to be impressed with that visually and controls and gameplay-wise, so I really want to see that again, and I think that definitely has to be something they have a lot to show and talk about still. They've barely shown anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I want to see that as well.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited to see, like, what Mario Tennis turns into for the Wii U. That comes out this holiday season.
Oh, right. You see, that looked so early to me at E3.
Yeah.
We even talked about that, like, the only new thing was them growing on the battlefield. Like, there didn't seem to be anything else on the battlefield. What am I talking about?
Which was kind of dumb.
Brothers.
Battlefield.
I know. I said battlefield instead
Extreme
of tennis.
Extreme!
But, I don't know. I'm not too excited about that either.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not blown away. Tennis is probably my least favorite Mario sports game because it's
funny,
just kind of...
Actually, to me, Mario Tennis is my favorite of all. The original
Really?
Mario Tennis on N64 is my all-time favorite Mario sports game. I love it. Yeah.
So then why aren't you excited for the Wii U game?
It doesn't look like there's anything original. I'm sure there's more to that game than what we've seen, and so for that reason, I'm excited to see more. But I mean, based on what I saw at E3, I can't legitimately say I'm excited for that.
Right, so isn't that why you would be excited to
exactly,
see it, like,
yeah.
in a
so
fall
I'm excited
direct,
to see how it's changed.
Yeah.
But I'm not excited for the state it's in right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's one of the reasons I think that's one of the reasons I'm most excited to see it again in a potential direct, because, like, it has so much room to grow. See what I did there? That's a joke! Because it has Mega Mushrooms.
I get it.
Boom! I've been saving that one since E3.
Brilliant.
Listen. But yeah, I mean, I think it's, I really hope that the gimmick is not, hey, we put Mega Mushrooms in the game. Because if that's it, if that's what they brought to the table, I want everybody at Camelot to be fired.
Was Camelot working on it? Did they announce that, or is this...
Yeah, it's made by Camelot. Same team that made Mario Golf on the 3DS, same team that made Mario Tennis on the 3DS.
Yeah. Well, Mario Tennis since, I think, the original one, right? They've done all the Mario Tennis games.
Yeah, they've done them all,
Yeah.
So... I don't know. I mean, at very least, I'm interested in seeing what kind of tennis courts they design, because they usually have, like, really cool themed courts and things. So, yeah, I'm interested to see where they go, mode-wise, if it's going to have online and all that stuff.
I definitely think one thing we should get if we are going to get a Nintendo Direct in the fall, like a big fall Nintendo Direct, I think it will happen after the fighter ballot closes for Smash Brothers, and I think we could get the announcement of the first fighter ballot character.
When does that close?
October. So, and it's like October 1st, I think.
Okay, I was going to say, is there a specific date?
I think it's the 1st of October, yeah.
And then they're never going to open it up again, right?
Right, so I think they're going to start building the characters from that list. And now there may be multiple characters, there may be one. They haven't really clarified if there's going to be one fighter ballot character. They haven't even showed results for that yet, which really kind of surprises me. I thought they'd show something before they actually end up closing the poll. But, you know, I think we will get an announcement of whoever that character is within the next 60 days, I feel like. And if that's going to happen, I mean, it would make the most sense for that to be in a Nintendo Direct, wouldn't it? I think that's going to be pretty big news. I can't imagine them dropping that on Twitter. But then again, I mean, they dropped Megatons on Twitter and in random videos past couple months already. They dropped the thing about Pikmin 4 in an interview on Eurogamer.
Yeah.
They dropped the info on the Shovel Knight amiibo in like a random video before PAX. So, you know, anything's possible, I feel like, at this point.
Well, one of the things about, I mean, we're going to talk about this in a more in-depth video on your channel, but with Pikmin 4, it's very suspicious to me that that interview took place in July and it was embargoed until September.
Yeah. Well, I think that was probably a case where maybe there was originally a Nintendo Direct scheduled and that it moved off the calendar, and then they just never went back and fixed that embargo and said, hey, remember when we talked about Pikmin? Yeah, don't talk about that. You know, I feel like maybe that announcement was planned for September, and then they had to shift gears after Iwata passed away. I think
that was
we're both,
in July.
Yeah,
I think he passed away in July, didn't he?
Yeah.
So that was a while ago to where they would have had plenty of time to. I think what they're doing is, this is just, obviously, I don't know, I'm just assuming.
Yeah.
I think the reason it was embargoed until September is because they wanted to kind of build a little bit of hype with it, like announce it in this casual way. And then I really think we might actually see Pikmin 4 next month in this fall direct.
I actually agree with you, and I think if it's not an NX game, and at this point I actually don't think it is anymore, simply because he said that it's nearing completion already. It seems to me like that's an early 2016 game, like something that will be released in the spring, maybe around March. And I think, and again, we're going to talk about this in another video on my channel, but I think there's going to be a heavy, heavy focus on Amiibo. I think because if you look back at that original, the original 4 silhouettes of Amiibo, there was the Mario from the Mario series, the Link from the Super Smash Bros. Series, the Tom Nook from the Animal Crossing series, and then another silhouetted Amiibo of the 3 Pikmin standing on a little stand. So what that says to me is the next big Amiibo set, like the next big full Amiibo set, is going to be something to do with Pikmin, and I think the next Pikmin game, Pikmin 4 or whatever they're going to call it, Pikmin Amiibo Festival, hope not. But
Jeez.
if that does end up happening, I do think the next game is going to heavily rely on those Pikmin Amiibo, and I think it could be for 3DS or Wii U, honestly. I mean, the new 3DS has Amiibo capability, and really,
you'd want that?
Well, no, not necessarily. I'd rather see it on Wii U. But really, what have they done with the new 3DS? They said, "Oh, we're making exclusive games for this. Xenoblade is just the first of a bunch of them."
Did they say that though?
They did.
I don't know that they said they're making.
They said that there will be multiple games that are going to be released on the new 3DS following Xenoblade, and the only one they made was Xenoblade. So
I don't know that that's a real announcement they made.
I don't know if it was an announcement they made, but I'm fairly certain if you go back and read it, that Xenoblade thing, they said Xenoblade is the first of many. So I don't know.
I feel like the new 3DS isn't really a system that they're planning on releasing exclusive games to, because that is a huge waste of money for them. Because the audience for the new 3DS is very minuscule compared to the audience for the 3DS. Yeah. So why would you put a game in development that's going to cost millions of dollars to make to sell it to like 1% of an audience?
I agree. That's true.
So I don't. And Pikmin is a series that they're really trying to get out there more. So I don't really think it's smart to put it on such a niche device.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see it on Wii U, and I think it would kind of make sense for Wii U to get 2 games just like GameCube did. So
yeah, I mean that's what I'm hoping they do. You know, because they've had time to learn the Wii U hardware, so it could look better, it could play better. Yeah. There's still a lot of room in terms of how to expand the gameplay.
That being said,
that'd be totally fine.
That being said, though. If we don't see that in whatever this fall direct is, I actually think that may be an NX game. Even if it's near completion, I think that could be an NX game, and maybe that would make sense to have that on maybe the handheld version of the NX. You know, whatever we've talked about this before, how there'll probably be a handheld and a console that plays the same games. I'd love to see a high-fidelity, graphic-wise Pikmin on a handheld. I think that would be great. And I'd much rather see one on like the new system than I would on 3DS, but I would actually prefer to get it on Wii U before NX, because I feel like Wii U needs something else before it goes out the door beyond Pokken and Zelda, and what's the other big game coming out next year? Fire Emblem. So
Fire Emblem's a big game?
Yeah, I mean, to my audience, yeah.
I just wanted to anger some people with that comment.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see more Fire Emblem, actually.
Yeah, see, I feel like there are a lot of games that they can talk about, and so they could make like a big fall direct. They could talk about, I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming out this holiday season, talk a little bit about the stuff that's coming later. The whole Pikmin 4 thing's really mysterious. I mean, why would you announce that and say that it's nearly complete if you're not going to talk about it soon?
That is.
So, I'm hoping for that. Chibi Robo Ziplash. Yeah, I can't wait till they talk about that again. That game looks amazing.
Okay.
Maybe they'll do a direct just for Chibi Robo Ziplash.
I wouldn't be surprised. They did one for, what, Little Battlers Experience or something? So, I mean, it
Did they do a direct for that?
Yeah, I mean, Chibi Robo was announced in the same direct, actually. Okay. If you remember that. They announced the Chibi Robo thing in the same direct.
I'm being sarcastic. That game makes me cry.
Oh, I know.
I don't want to hear about that anymore.
I'm well aware, yeah.
People should cancel the petition to cancel
Blast
Federation
Ball.
Force.
Yeah.
And just move that over to canceling Chibi-Robo Ziplash. So yeah, are there any other things you want to see if we get a fall direct?
I mean, I don't know. Are there any other games really coming out this fall?
E3 was kind of abysmal, so
Yeah.
it's hard to look back on that and think of games that I want
I mean,
to
I
see
am
more.
actually excited for the possibility. I am. I'm like really legitimately excited because I do think that there's still a little bit of life left in Wii U. And I am excited to see what they're going to pull out in these last couple months, you know, finishing out 2015 and then also through 2016 up until the release of NX, which I think both of us are in agreement will probably be in holiday 2016. So,
Yeah, that's
and I do think there'll be a lot of games that are released on Wii U before NX ends up coming out, and I do think Pikmin's probably one of them. And like you said, it would make sense to see Pikmin now, or I mean, they could save Pikmin for the big January one, because to me, the big January directs are always the one that always have the big announcements. That's where they announced the Wind Waker remake, that's where they announced Hyrule Warriors, that's where they announced the Shin Megami Tensei Fire Emblem announcement for the first time, so they've done a lot of stuff in those January directs, and I wouldn't put it past Nintendo to make the big Pikmin announcement then, and maybe not do it this fall, to focus instead on the games that are coming out this fall, like Star Fox and Fatal Frame. I don't think we need to see more of Yoshi. I mean, that game's pretty much out.
No,
so.
it's so weird to me that game is still not out in North America, because that's like old to me by now. I imported it from Japan, and that was like an early summer game, and it's amazing. That
Yeah,
we don't
it's
have
great.
that
Yeah.
yet.
So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
All right, I think that pretty much wraps it up.
Yeah.
I think we're both hoping. I want it to be a direct as opposed to them just uploading trailers, because just randomly getting trailers all of a sudden, there's like no hype behind it. I like the
agree.
idea of like, ooh, in 2 more days there's going to be a Nintendo Direct, and what are they going to show?
Yeah.
So-
The more we talked about it, though, the more I do believe we'll probably end up getting one now. I'm going to kind of backtrack on what I said earlier. Just because, yeah, when we were talking, I mean, think about what we just said. So, more on Star Fox Zero, a more polished look at Star Fox Zero, seeing how development has progressed on the new Mario Tennis, the potential announcement of Pikmin 4, the announcement of the Fighter Ballot character for Smash Brothers, and didn't they announce too earlier in the year that there's going to be more DLC for Splatoon and Mario Kart? So maybe that could get announced as well during that.
Well, they did say that before the Mario Kart 8 DLC Pack 2 launch, so they might have been referring to that.
Maybe. And
But,
also, I think
there's
it's telling.
just Splatoon.
I think it's telling neither of us mentioned Amiibo Festival once.
So I was gonna just say that they would talk more about Amiibo Festival
Yeah.
and the Animal Crossing Amiibo that are releasing as well, I'm sure.
So while we're actually talking about that, back to that Mario Maker discussion where I was saying there were different costumes, I actually think we are going to get a Blathers and Celeste Amiibo figure for the Animal Crossing series after looking at those costumes in the game.
I would like a Blathers one. Blathers awesome.
I'd love a one of Tommy and Timmy. With the
Timmy
two of
and
them
Tommy,
Timmy
you
and
mean.
Tom, whatever. I like Tommy more, so I said Tommy first.
There's no difference between the two.
Timmy, Tommy, Timmy, it doesn't matter. Tomato, tomato.
You'd want both of them as a separate Amiibo or on the same thing?
Both on the same Amiibo stand.
Okay, I was
yeah.
gonna say, what in the world? How
No,
would
it'd be
you
cool.
know?
It'd be cool. And actually, if you look at their costume in Mario Maker, it's the two of them together, kind of like the three Pikmin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean they've got that. They would have to talk about those Amiibo too, and I'm sure they want to do that. So there's a lot of stuff that they could fill a fall direct with.
Yeah,
I want it to happen, Roger.
I do too.
All right. So where can people find you, Roger?
Oh, they can find me at Rogers Base on Twitter, YouTube, Tumblr, Twitch, Facebook, pretty much everywhere. If you just search Rogers Base, you'll find me. And yeah, I'm going to be talking about some more Nintendo stuff soon, so be sure to go there and subscribe because me and Josh are going to be doing a Pikmin video relatively soon. But if you're a One Piece fan or an anime fan, I also do reviews of that series, as well as Nintendo news videos, Smash Brothers news videos, Pokemon news videos. A lot of good stuff coming up.
When did you start playing Smash Brothers?
When did I start playing
Recently?
Smash Brothers? No,
Was it a recent
1999. Yeah, when the first one came out.
What? But you know so little about it.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
All right. Thanks for chatting with me,
All
Roger.
right, you're welcome. Bye, everybody.